Hi, everybody. This is Lowell with a new series that I was going to share with you about the subject of creativity. Um, I've been a creative person for most of my life in various ways. I, uh, I'm a composer of classical music, modern classical music, but I've also composed a lot of material in a lot of different styles, rock, pop rock, R&B, some rap. Uh, Electronic music production and jazz. But I also, as a child, I did a lot of creativity, just playing around. We didn't have video games and all sorts of fun things that the kids have these days. And out in my garage at home as a little boy, there was this little box that my father had, and it was just all these trinkets and parts and pieces, doorknobs and incomplete pieces of things. And I asked him as a little boy, about it. Says, Dad, what is that box that has all this stuff in the garage? And he says, well, that's my magic box. I said, really? What is your magic box? And he says, well, that's what I go to whenever I need to fix something around the house. And so he would jimmy rig some kind of, no, he had the money to pay somebody to do it, but he always liked to do some sort of household chore to unwind after a concert or whatever. But he would go to that box to fix things. And so what I did as a little boy is I'd go out to that magic box and find something that reminded me of a spaceship, and I would, you know, modify it or augment it somehow to make it more to my imagination. But I found myself growing up going out to that workbench area and making my own toys. And actually, some of this is right behind me, if you don't mind. I made my own Herbie the Love Bug. The wheels are from the store. I couldn't make the wheels, but the rest of it I made. Then here's a sailboat that I made. The sail was made of plastic and it tore off over the years. But I was always going out into the garage to make something. And creativity is just kind of part of who I am. So I feel like I know a little bit about it. But the first thought I wanted to leave with you, the first principle of creativity that I find it to be the most important, is to capture the idea. And capturing your creative idea sometimes comes at awkward times. A lot of ideas that I have unfortunately come either in the early morning, right before I wake up, or they come during prayer in the morning when I'm relaxed. But probably the worst time is when they come in the middle of the night around 3 a.m. and I'm laying there. I was like, if I don't capture this idea, if I don't capture this thought, I'm just going to forget it entirely. And so I make myself get up and go write it down. And I have a place that I have manuscript paper and a desk that's kind of separate from everybody else's sleeping. And I just go turn on the light and wipe the sleep out of my eyes and write down the idea, even if it's just 2 bars of music or a creative thought about anything. And so having a place to write things down, and when I say capture the idea, it doesn't have to be with pencil and paper. That's what I like. Pencil and paper to me is the greatest invention to mankind. But some of you guys would turn on your phone and talk into your phone, or some people have a little bit of a home studio, a digital audio workstation, and go to that. I find it just easy to grab a pencil and write down the idea and capture it that way. But in whatever form you can capture the idea, make sure that you capture it when it comes to you. That's what I call a seed idea, and it didn't really originate from you per se. It came to you, but I believe that those creative ideas come from God. There's a scripture that says that He gives seed to the sower and bread to the eater, and that phrase "seed to the sower." A seed, inside of a seed is eternity. If you plant that seed, then inside of that seed, if you care for it and it grows, then it produces fruit, and inside of each one of those pieces of fruit are more seeds, and then inside of each one of those seeds are more plants and more fruit, and so it's infinite. And so there's something about seeds that it literally is a physical version of eternity. They're eternal. Um, as far as I can see, they're eternal. Um, so I just wanted to, leave you with that thought, is to capture those seed ideas, and then we'll talk in later videos about what you do with that idea to bring it into fruition, and to bring the creative idea into its fullest measure.